Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Hey Little Magpie, featuring the 49er Market Collection Kaleidoscope. So I've picked out all the green and pinks at this stage and I've printed up a couple of photographs. I've also got the new exclusive Hey Little Magpie dies there. So I'm just going through the 12 by 12 papers I have left and I'm not sure which of the ones I want to use as my base. I'm looking at the greens and before that I was looking at the pinks. So I decide while I think about it, I'm going to do some fussy cutting from some of the 6 by 8 papers that I've started. And I'm just going to cut the bits off the edges of those that look like clusters. So in the end, I decided that I would like to use this animated travelers paper as the background. It's quite busy to start with, so I've got that in my mind. So I'm looking at doing a vertical cluster, really, using the two photographs. And in the tray on my left, I've got lots of pink things and green things. I've also got lots of the laser cuts. Because of the type of paper that I'm using there, I felt the laser cuts would be perfect to intertwine around the photographs. So I haven't got them out in advance. I'm just having a look through what I've got and deciding there and then which ones to actually lift out. Now, if you've not used the laser cuts before, I would really recommend them, but do be gentle when it comes to removing them from the packaging, because they're so delicate. You do need to take your time, but then once they're out, they're absolutely perfect to use, and you can use them to add a lot of dimension. So even though I'm sticking with the pinks and greens predominantly, the dress I'm wearing in the photo definitely has a bluey tone, and there is a blue hummingbird on the right of the paper. So I do bear that in mind. So I am picking out pink and green bits, but I will be looking for a few little pops of blue later on. The clusters I cut out from the 6 by 8 papers, they make a really good base for the rest of the embellishments. So even though you can only barely see them tucked in on the left and the right of the photos, I feel like that adds just a good place to pop the photographs and then to build up from. And to be honest, I'm feeling like it doesn't need too much because it's such a beautiful background paper, particularly with the embellishments all down the left and on the just a little bit on the right. I don't want to overdo it. I think luckily because the photographs are literally selfies, they pop on their own. But I did initially think about some of the photographs when I'm walking through some plants and flowers, and actually I didn't feel that they had the right focus to add to this paper. So that's why I picked the photos that I did. So I'm still tucking things in either side. What I would recommend is you check out this kaleidoscope range at Hey Little Magpie. It's very versatile. This is the third layout I've made from it this month, and I think all three layouts look completely different, even though they're using the same collection. And I've got some more left, and I'm definitely going to be using more of it. I think it's really, really versatile. I love all the bits and pieces that 49er Market make. I've got some rub-ons there. I'm not going to use them because the background paper is just too beautiful and it doesn't really need it. But I wanted to use the new dies from Hey Little Magpie. So this is watercolour paper and these are some distress oxides. So I've just dabbed them onto the paper and I'm using the water. I'm going to just smush that a bit around to make it softer. I want to get like a mixed colour because I'm actually going to die cut these flowers with it. So the dies I'm using specifically are the long stem cow parsley. There's two dies that you get in the pack, and I think they would be perfect. They've kind of got like a bit like a gypsophilia look to their heads, and I think it would be perfect to tuck in and around the other bits and pieces on the layout. So this is just, it's not quite A4, this piece of paper. So I'm just adding a little of water. I want a few different colours of pink. I take it aside and tidy up, and then I'm dipping in some white ones that I cut earlier. So I cut them in white from watercolour paper, and I was going to use them white, and then I decided I would colour them. So these white ones, I'm just dipping in the excess there. So they are just very pale colours. And I'm just bringing in a heat gun now just to dry that off a little bit because I'm being a little bit impatient and I want to cut from it. So anyway, I've stuck down the main bulk of this off camera, and now I'm going to come in and add all the little bits and pieces. I really want to add this acetate hummingbird on the left. and I want to raise it up on foam. So I've added the foam to the darkest part, which is his tail feathers, so that actually it's not very noticeable that you've got the foam on the other side. I'm also going to add other bits and pieces, a few butterflies. These are the laser cut, and this are the cow parsley that I've cut. You can see the paper on the left, and I've run it through my die cutting machine. I'm trimming the long stems. I don't need the long stems on them today. And I'm just going to tuck them in places around the photograph. Both sorts, because there's 2 dies in the pack. And I particularly like it when I've got the ready pinks on the ends. I think they really add to the layering, and when we get to the close-ups at the end, you'll be able to see how I've used them. But it was very simple, just to colour the paper and then cut them out. I'm adding just a bit of wet glue, just so that I can get them in underneath other things and get them stuck into place. I think they really do add to the clusters. So if you're new to watching Hey Little Magpie videos, I'd recommend you subscribe to our channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. We're happy to answer any questions if you want to leave those in the comments below. We're always happy to help. Now, we're going back to the layout. It may not be so obvious at the moment, but I've tried to add the embellishments in like an S shape. So you've got the embellishments above, down the left-hand side, across the centre, down the right, and along the bottom where I'm going to add the title. So it's thicker at one side and thinner at the other. That's the idea. Just trying to even it out. So it's thicker at the top left and thicker at the bottom right. Just so it's not, makes it softer, I think, if that makes sense. I want to make the title longer, so I've brought in the Doodlebug alphabet soup letter stickers. I think the colour is Cupcake because it's a pale pink, and I want the title to be using the 49er Market chipboard word wonder. So it's a wonder of nature that I'm going for. What I didn't tell you at the very beginning is the photographs are taken in Laos, which is near Vietnam and Cambodia. And it was just, I think it's a type of azalea, but it was just absolutely in full bloom. And there were just some quick shots taken at the time, but I was really enjoying the cerise colour. And I thought that really went with this paper. So I'm looking at some little letters to do the of. I don't want that to be very big. The first alphas I picked out in my stash are a bit big. And I do actually replace them with something else, because I found another hummingbird I wanted to add by the title, and I wanted to tuck him in next to the word nature. So between the one at the bottom, the one on the right of the photos, and the acetate one, I think that's a nice little triangle that we've got going there. Same with the butterflies. There's one on the paper at the bottom left, and there will eventually be 2 at the top. So just guiding your eye around. So even though it's a busy layout, there's actually places for your eye to rest, so you don't feel completely overwhelmed. I add the letter stickers for the title onto white cardstock, and I cut round them just to kind of look like the chipboard word. And so that also meant that I could raise it up on foam pads. So that's the reason for why I did that. They're a bit thin to add foam to individually. So I'm just adding a little bit of some bits and pieces at the bottom there. There's some die cuts. I think there's a flower that I cut out of one of the 6x8 pads, and I'm just trying to bring your focus in on the title. I'm using lots of bits of foam pads just to add some depth. I know it's not for everybody, but I do find that I do like the bit of a shadow coming underneath some of the shapes when I come to photograph them. So that's the S I was pointing out to you there. That's all the dimension. You can see the little bits of acetate. Here's the full image. So thank you so much for watching. Do check out this collection at the Hey Little Magpie store. Have a look at the new exclusive dies. There's more being added as I speak. So lots to entice you into shopping. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you here again real soon. Bye for now.